Hey guys, what a week. Okay, so I'm going to put a short clip here. Honey just worked out this morning and I caught him before he went to get ready for work. And I wanted to ask him about his weigh-in, and I will put that in right here. And then I will be back with mine. All right. It is weigh-in Wednesday. Honey just got done with the workout. And you want to tell us your weight?
Today I am minus 0.2 pounds.
All right, so that was a little bit of a loss there. Now, one thing I wanted to point out was yesterday, he weighs in every day, guys.
Well, not every day.
Well, just about.
No, yeah, a lot.
And yesterday you were down.
Yesterday I was down 1.8 from the previous week.
Right, and then Saturday you
Oh,
weighed in.
Saturday, goodness, it was like 2.4 pounds.
From the previous week.
From Wednesday.
So then
just
you're
a couple
back up
days.
again and down 0.2 today from the previous week.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you the weight fluctuations
A lot
that
of
can happen on a weight loss journey. Right. Still moving downward though.
Downward trend, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's important. And the thing is that we were talking about this, is that he is really on point, with his foods and stuff. But one thing that I noticed with him is that I think Honey snacks. He snacks on the things that he's supposed to be snacking, but he snacks. And every time you snack, you get an insulin response. Insulin is a fat-storing hormone.
Right.
So maybe, I don't know if you want to think about it or not, but maybe this week, not snacking?
No snacks.
No, I mean, just eat enough at your meals and see how that goes.
Well, starting on Monday.
It might be a good thing.
Yeah, no snacks. So I haven't had a snack this week starting Monday. I did on Wednesday.
I saw you eating it.
Oh, that's right. Here it is.
You can't argue when it's in black and white.
Food police.
Or when you have a wife that is the food police.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Hey guys, okay, it's time for my weigh-in. My weigh-in, now just to recap, last week it was 1.2 or 1.4 down. It was down, and then the 2 weeks before that it was slightly down. So there was within those 2 weeks combined, it was 1.2 down. And then last week was either 1.2 or 1.4 down. This week blew my socks off, because now this is the second week finished that I started low carb / keto. I am down 1.8 just this week alone. So I'm really happy about that. I noticed something was really changing, because certain shirts that I've been avoiding wearing because they were too tight in the front and too tight in the back, and I could see kind of like rolly things happening back there. I can't see the rolly things happening, and they're hanging a little bit in the front. So I wore those this week, felt just fine, and I said, you know what, something's happened. But I'm going to wait till Wednesday and get on the scale on that day. I'm not one of those people that weighs every day. My hubby does that, but I don't. I just can't do it that way. It's too distracting. So anyway, what things did I do this week that may have, pushed me in this direction? Well, I'm staying on board with this low carby lifestyle, and I want to say it's low carb / keto, because there's meals and days that it just seems to go that way. And I know that some of the weight that I'm losing, if not all of it, who knows, right now is water, and has a lot to do with the inflammation that my body is finally letting go. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm anxious to see where this is going to go. What's it going to look like the next week, right? So one thing that I've done, because I'm really trying to design my meals so that I bring my insulin level down, my blood glucose. I'm trying to bring my A1C down. And so I want as less of an insulin response as possible. And one of the most important things that I've discovered is is helping me with that is actually using the glucometer and checking my blood sugar. I'll check it before the meal. I'll check it half an hour, and 2 hours afterward. Most people check just 2 hours afterward, but I'm finding if I wait the full 2 hours and don't check before that, I miss seeing what the actual peak was. And if I miss the peak, I could miss seeing what that a particular type of food actually did to my blood sugar. So, I mean, it could go up to like 130 or so and then come down by the 2 hour mark, be at 115 or something. And I actually miss seeing what it actually did and thinking that what I had was a-okay. And maybe it really wasn't. Maybe it was too much for me at this time. So I'm really checking and designing my meals to keep that low insulin response. And remember, insulin is actually a hormonal response. It's a fat storing hormone. So I don't want, as far as weight loss, I don't want a big response for that. But as far as like my blood sugar, which is my primary concern, I don't want a big response from that because that shows me that I've had too much sugar. One thing that I did this week was I stopped snacking, and last week too, really. I stopped snacking because if I snack, even in a low carb snack, I'm still going to get an insulin response. And I want to keep those responses down, right? So if I eat 3 times a day, that's 3 times I'm using my pancreas to put out that insulin. So if I snack, that's like 2 more times at least per day that I'm adding in those insulin responses. And that's one thing that Honey and I talked about this morning, because he really is doing low carb as well, but Honey eats snacks. He eats snacks, so he adds in those responses. So we're wondering if maybe that's the difference between his weight loss maybe going a little slower right now and mine picking up, which really surprised me because I always think that the guy is going to have that bigger leverage, usually because he has more muscles. But anyway, it's a pickle. Anyway, we're sorting through it. But so no snacks. I just eat enough at each meal. Well, one thing that I've figured out is that I am less hungry now because my appetite is really almost correcting itself, where I'm eating the amount of calories that I need and I'm being satiated. And it's not like I'm full type of a feeling. It's just like the body signaling me saying, you know what, you're done. And I look and I go, you know what, I'm done. It's not repulsive to eat another bite, but it's almost that way. It's just like there's absolutely no motivation to pick up the fork one more time. There's no reason for it, and I don't want it. And so I've been able to walk away when I'm done. This morning I made a mug bread for my breakfast to go with my eggs and my bacon and my cabbage. And I just ate half of the bread and I just couldn't see eating the other half. So I just put it in a Ziploc, stuck it in the fridge. And that was it. Less points. That's okay. I've been less afraid to add fat in, good fats and healthy fats this week. And it's added to the satiation. But I'm so glad I'm tethered to WW while doing this, because that also keeps me on board within a certain caloric range. Because I don't think that losing weight is just about calories in, calories out like I really thought it was. Because, I didn't at first, and then I was listening to a couple doctors, because you always listen to doctors. Doctors can't agree on anything, it seems like. And there's doctors to back up wherever you're at. And I was listening to some of them say that, yes, it is primarily that. And I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of the calories in, calories out. And I think it has a lot to do with hormones. And insulin, again, is a fat-storing hormone. Why wouldn't it have anything to do with that? So I'm finding out that is a big part of this. But anyway, on this journey, it's very eye-opening. I'm going to attach a simple meal that I had a couple days ago or yesterday actually. At the end of this video, I made a quick soup. My hubby had to leave really fast with our son, and so I made a really quick soup. It's very satisfying, and I made a mug bread to go along with it, and I'll show you what that's like. But anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I want to know how you're doing. Are you watching your carbs, your sugars? What are you doing? Do you incorporate snacks? Do you not? Did you see a weight loss this week? Did you not? Is there something that concerns you? Is there something I can do to help you? Something I could show you that would help or inspire you more? I know that I've had a couple people ask me to do some more recipes, and I'm going to be doing that and showing you what I eat more along the way. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys a lot, and thanks for coming on this journey with me. Bye. All right, I'm going to make a quick leek and burger soup. I've got a couple of leeks, some celery, 2 cups of broccoli, a half a pound of burger, and 1.5 of these boxes of chicken broth. And that's like 2 cups of celery too. So I've chopped everything up in here. And I'm going to brown the meat after I tenderize the vegetables a little bit. And then I'm just going to add in actually a little bit of Italian seasoning. I forgot to show that to you, as much as you want. I kind of like a little bit liberal, spice in there. And then I'm going to add in the broccoli after the meat is browned. I'm just going to stir that around a little bit, tenderize it just a little bit. And then I'm going to add the chicken broth, and it's 1.5 of these boxes. Now I'm not going to salt it until it's all done, because it gets kind of salty with the meat and the broth, and so you really want to be careful. Now while that's cooking, I'm going to make a real quick bun to go with it. So I have my mug here. I'm just going to spray that lightly with some olive oil, and it's real easy. I'm just going to take 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, 2 tablespoons of the almond flour meal, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of the baking powder and a pinch of salt, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of butter. So I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients first together, and then I'm going to add in the egg, and then the butter is going to be melted. So just going to melt it, and then I'm going to whisk the egg as I add the butter, because the butter might be hot. I don't want it to cook the egg. I want to temper it. So I'm just going to keep stirring it until it's really nice. I'm going to pour it in the mug, all at the bottom of the mug. Make sure it doesn't get on the sides. Put it in the microwave for 60 seconds or 90 seconds if you have a weak microwave and it's all springy. I've got it out. It's kind of like cooled down. And I'm just going to slice it here. And honestly, this just feels like regular bread. It just feels like bread. And it's nice and spongy. And it's really tasty too. That little pinch of salt is really important to kind of give it a little bit of oomph and a little bit of flavor. So you can leave it out if you want to. So I've got 4 little pieces here. I'm going to have it with some Laughing Cow cheese. I'm going to put some Parmesan on my now finished soup, which is absolutely delicious, and I did not need salt. Put a little Laughing Cow cheese on it. It's great. Next morning, real quick little bonus here. I'm just going to cook up some peppers and Canadian bacon in here and a little bit of olive oil. And I'm going to add some baby kale mix. I'm just going to add the whole bag. This kind of froze in the refrigerator, which ticks me off. But instead of throwing it away, it will go great in a frittata or an omelet. So don't throw it away when your greens freeze. Use it. So this is great. I'm just going to roll it around here until it gets a little tenderized, and then I'm going to put some eggs in here. Now this is going to be for me and honey, so I'm kind of like doubling this recipe. So all the eggs that you see me put together, it's not all for me. So anyway, while that's cooking here, I'm just going to salt it a little bit, put some garlic powder on here. I like using the granulated garlic powder, and I get this from Sam's Club because I use it a lot. Okay, so the eggs are over here. I've got some for honey and some for me. We're doing 3 eggs each this morning, and I've got a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream in here. That is just going to really make it nice and creamy, and so I'm just going to whisk that together, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in here into the pan, and I'm going to lower the heat and put a lid on it and then just let it, I might put a little pepper on it first, some cracked pepper, and a couple of tablespoons of feta cheese. And then I'll lower it and cover it, so it'll just kind of like bake here, like a little mini oven. And I added a little avocado, an Olay wrap, and some low-fat cottage cheese and berries, and voila, we had a marvelous breakfast.